Okay, so we are live now. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Alex Chisnell. Welcome to today's 2 p.m. live webinar from the Festival of Enterprise. I've got James Sinclair with me today. Very excited to have him on board. Been looking forward to this for quite a while. So questions, before I hand over to James, post them up in the chat box on the right-hand side, and then we'll both get to see them. And James will do his presentation, talk you through what to do in your business right now, and then answer any questions afterwards. So James will tell you a little bit more about his story, but as a really brief intro, James is an award-winning entrepreneurial CEO of the Partyman Group. Recently, they had to hibernate overnight, 400 plus staff furloughed, and really interesting to find out the steps that he's taken with his own business, which includes 7 indoor leisure units, 3 laser arenas, 5-day nurseries, 50-acre farm park attraction, a water park, and a web-based soft toy business. And I know you've recently launched at least 1, if not 2, new businesses as well.
Yeah. Yes, we have, sir.
I'd love to hear about that as well. So I will hand over to your good self, because that's who everybody's come along to see and listen to. And any questions, like I say, guys, post them up in the box there. And I'll also post up a link to follow James, contact him afterwards as well. Okay, so over to you, sir.
Oh, hi, gang. How you doing? Hope that you're getting through these challenging times that we're living in right now. I'm live at home. I'm in isolation. But usually I've got a studio where I work from, but I've had to move the band, the screens behind me. I've got a mixing desk in front of me. I've been making a podcast a day right now to help entrepreneurs sort of success and get through this corona crisis. In addition to that, I've been making daily videos on my YouTube channel, James Sinclair's YouTube channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these snippets of all of that content that I put out to help you work out what you need to be doing right now to keep in business, build, grow, scale business. Let me be absolutely clear, gang. I think now is one of the best times to start, build, grow, or buy a business. And I'll tell you for why. More millionaires and more great businesses are built during economic downturns and upturns, and now is the entrepreneur's time to shine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some of those things that I think you need to be doing to make sure your business is prepared where we're at right now to take advantage of all those coronavirus schemes, loans, CBILS loans, coronavirus business interruption loan schemes. What's the truth of those? Can you actually get your grubby hands on those? And what I think you need to be doing. Does someone need to say something there? Nope, good. Okay, so let me just quickly go through some of the things that I just want to talk about. You can get my last full webinar on my YouTube channel. So if you wanted to watch that glorious Technicolor without all the webinar-y stuff, and I've done this about 3-4 weeks ago now when this all sort of kicked off. But lots has changed, and here's my update. The 80% staffing furlough thing, we're thinking that we're going to get our money on that on the beginning of May for our staff. What does that mean for us? Well, our payroll's about £400,000 per month. So we furloughed 423 staff, I believe it is now. And so you've got to work out how you can cash flow that, because if this goes on for 6 months, you want to make sure that you get the money back from the government as fast as possible. That portal keeps on updating, and we now know that team members up to the 19th of March rather than the 28th of February can be included in the furlough scheme. Let's talk about insurance communications. This is the big one that we're on all the time. At the moment, I would presume that most businesses, and we're presuming that we will get no money from our insurers, although I've seen some legal cases going on about that, and that, I think that's important, very important, because if you could get your business interruption loans, then you're in a good position to, get your insurance business interruption, then you'll be in a good position to sell through the storm. You've got to start preparing for this. So I would be talking to your insurance brokers and your insurance companies and explaining exactly what's happening to your business and prepare for this in the utmost fashion. So produce a cash flow of where you are now compared to where you were last year, management accounts, i.e. monthly accounts, and where you are now compared to last year, and send that over to them. You'll need to show evidence of how your business has been hurt from this, and don't accept This is my advice to everyone. If your insurance company is saying, no, you do not qualify, don't accept that, because I'm hoping that the government are going to wade in and try and protect us. They done that in the London riots, i.e. on a much smaller scale, but they put a fund up that insurers could get hold of to get the businesses that were affected from the London riots. So you need to show evidence for this. You might need to get your accountant to write some letters, but prepare all this stuff now, because I think in the next 90 days, there's going to be some real horse racing on insurance. So we're getting all of this ready now. So get your accountant to sign off a letter to say that everything you've prepared is true and correct, because that should save a lot of time. But remember this, you've got to be the most annoying person to the insurance company. Don't give up on this fight. That is my big, strong piece of advice. You know, for us, 3 months trade, if we lost it, that's about £3 million worth of cash. We're a business that generates about £1 million worth of turnover a month. And, you know, that's gone down by 80% now. It's only our day nurseries that continue to trade. But thankfully, we do have multiple revenue streams. So luckily we've not lost everything, and we've still got our property business that we're still getting some rents coming in, and we're still trading our day nurseries. Let's talk about these government grants for leisure and hospitality. Obviously we've got 11 leisure locations, so you think we'd get 11 £25,000. No, we've only got one £25,000 because our rateable value was just over the odds on the other 10 sites. So we've only got one lot of £25,000. It's a drop in the ocean for us, but it's something. It's better than nothing. So what are those grants available there? They're available for leisure, retail, and hospitality businesses only. Lots of people are not qualifying for the grants. You need to contact your local authority to get this. I'm sure most of you are on that, but it was worth just saying. To get this, you've got to have a rateable value at £51,000 or lower, or 10k for and you'll get 25 grand. But if it's less than 15,000 rateable value, then you get 10k in leisure, retail, and hospitality. One of the things I do think it's worth talking about as well is these hardship funds. The Chancellor's given £500 million, 500 million squids is given to local authorities to give to businesses if they have hardships. So you need to be ringing your local authorities. This is nothing to do with the grants. This is a separate grant. So whatever business in, whatever your trade is, I know York County Council have already started giving out money to businesses. There's only £500 million. It sounds like a lot of money, but if you divvy that up around the country, the amount of businesses there are, not so good. But, you know, if you can get £10,000 or £5,000 or even £1,000 of free cash from your local authority, which they've got from the central government, then it's worth tapping that up too. Don't forget, guys, get ready to get your MP involved, your local MP. If you're not getting the money that you should be getting, then, and you're not getting what you want to be getting, then make sure you get your MP involved wherever possible. Government-backed loans, the so-called CBILS, the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. These government-backed loans are not a walk in the park. I spoke to my bank manager this morning about it. They are going to get easier. You need to persist with this so you can get your grubby hands on money should you need it for your business. Don't forget, though, your debt servicing costs. So if you're a business like ours, I mean, we probably borrow about 4 or 5 million quid at the moment. If I included our property business and our trading business, if you take on this money, it's going to affect your debt servicing costs for if you want to do other things in the future. So banks will be taking that into account. You're going to need to produce cash flow forecasts, so you might need to get your accountant involved in this, and the money has to be used for civil interruptions. It can't be used for investment. It can't be used to go and buy businesses. So it could be utilities, loans, mortgages, anything that's been affected to by the business. Lastly, what I've been telling everyone is you've got to pivot for profit. You know, there's the same amount of money in the world. It never runs out. It just goes in different pockets and might stay there a little bit longer. Our job as entrepreneurs and business owners is to pivot to where that money goes. So wherever the money goes, the energy must flow. That's why I've started this, ladies and gents, the Entrepreneurs University, which is my online training platform. It's me coaching businesses from the comfort of their own home. And I've got how to start a business on Amazon, how to do Facebook ads, how to buy businesses, how to do property, how to get a team profitable, how to increase your average customer value, customer service, everything that I usually teach face to face. I've had to turn into an online training platform because no one can come and see me anymore. and I can't do my live trainings like I've always loved to do. So we've had to pivot. That's business number one that we've set up. And we've already got 100 customers using this, trying this, growing their business. Business number two is a drive-through food supermarket. So I saw that people were queuing up for 45 minutes, an hour to get into a supermarket. They were worried about social distancing. So what we did, very cleverly with my team, and we've launched this within 10 days. And today we launched and we've done £1,000 worth of sales in our first hour. It's on a drive-through supermarket. So people turn up in the car park, they order their food on their smartphone, they pay for it, and then we put it in their boot of their car, like a click and collect. Because, and I'm going to talk about businesses that do well in economic downturns and recessions in just a moment. But I just wanted to say to people, look, there is still opportunity out there. We've started 2 businesses from scratch, and we've actually transacted and got money in the bank in this coronavirus. So don't think that this is the end of the world. You know, you've just got to pivot and find out the opportunities where they're going to be. Money goes where the energy flows. So if your energy and money goes to the right places, you'll do well. If you're in a business and you want to try and get some cash into your business and you think those ideas are not good, look to do advanced sales. So we also run a Christmas grotto business. We're the second most expensive Christmas grotto in the country. We could put our tickets on sales now to get cash flow in, and then deliver the service in 6 to 9 months' time. Think of yourself like running a concert. I don't know, maybe if you're that style of thing where you're collecting the money advance and then you deliver the service in the future. That's a great way to get cash flow into your business. And honestly, here's the big thing I've been telling people: ask for help. Ask your customers for help. We've actually asked our customers, please come and buy your food and drink from us, because this will allow us to employ people and keep our business trading so that we can return to being a leisure attraction when this is all over. And you'll be absolutely shocked the way people will come and help you in those situations. Let's just quickly go into this and look at what businesses do well in a recession, and in my opinion, are recession proof. Now, I just want to say this. These are the opinions of myself, and they're based on my experience and my research. You should do your own due diligence before starting or growing your own business. First of all, guys, let me just quickly go through the 3 stages of a great business. I'm just going to get my whiteboard here. 1 second, guys. I'm back. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can see this. When it comes to business, I really think there are a particular type of business that always does well, and it follows my LWN methodology. And I just want to go through this with you now. If you can find a business where people love it, they want it, and they need it, you'll always be in business. A love, want, and need business. Let me give you an example of a love, want, and need business. Groceries. People love food, they want food, and they absolutely need food. And you'll see in supermarkets, they're like 42% up on sales compared to last year, because people are not going out to restaurants and they still need to eat. So a recession-proof business example would be a food or grocery store where people love, want, and need it. Lots of people start businesses where people only love and want it. So let's just get rid of the need. They start businesses where people love and want it. For example, Gucci handbags, Louis Vuitton handbags. Women love Gucci handbags, Louis Vuitton handbags. They want a Louis Vuitton handbag, but they don't need it. So therefore, in an economic downturn, it becomes optional. If you want a business that always stays steady Eddie and does very well in a recession, make sure it's love, want, and need. One of the examples I also give for this is this bad boy, the iPhone. This started out as a luxury product that people loved and wanted, but over a period of time, it's become a need product. You know, people, if their smartphone breaks, they'll go to the ends of the earth to repair it quick smart, because they love, want, and need it. So if you can find a business that follows that love, want, and need scenario, you'll always be making money. Let me give you some examples of businesses that I think are going to do very well. Discount retailers, but be specific where possible if you're an SME. What's an SME? Well, the government have defined an SME business, a business generating up to £45 million in sales. So that's most businesses, isn't it? But you want to be specific. You don't want to be like QD or Wilco or The Range. You want to, if you're an SME, choose a specific business, niche or type of product that you're going to sell, and then upscale it. So thrifting stores in the United States of America, where people are, upscaling furniture, or they're buying secondhand designer clothes and then reselling it on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. Those, maybe computers, you want to be a discount computer store, and everyone knows you as the discount computer store, and you buy all the stuff off of eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and then you do it up and then you resell it on. Those types of businesses, I think, are going to do very, very well in the UK going forward. And let me be absolutely clear, gang. The country, the world, is being more and more green. So recycling and reusing and repairing, the 3 R's, recycling, reusing and repairing, are going to be a big part of the way we think. It's fashionable right now to do those things. People want to do those things. So I think if you can do anything that's going to help save the planet and be part of that and be a discount retailer at the same time, I think you'll be in a good chance of making some money. So maybe I'm going to look at businesses like that. Grocery stores, I've said it before, but I think it's really worth saying. Food and beverage stores. People got to eat. Dining takes a cook, as cooking at home takes a ride. So even after this pandemic, we're going to go into an economic downturn. People are going to have less money. Companies, are going to be holding back. They're going to be paying back debts. They're not going to be investing so much. They're not going to be doing their capital expense projects. So builders are not going to get as much money as they used to. So the supply chains are going to be affected. There is going to be an economic downturn. What that economic downturn looks like is one of three things. We're either going to go down this V situation, so we're plummeting down right now, and then what's going to happen is we'll get to the bottom here, and then hopefully we'll see an uptick straight away. I don't think that V is going to happen. Other people are saying that this is going to happen, the W to the economy. So we're going down now and we're hitting the lows. Then everyone can say, right, pandemic over, everyone back to normal. So we're going back up the top, and then we're going to see a recovery. But then people are going to say, oh, actually, we have not got so much consumer confidence. People haven't got so much cash as we first thought. So then we'll see the realization of the problem this is called. So we'll go back down again, and then we'll get the proper recovery up here. Here's what I think is going to happen though, gang. I think we're going to have a U-shaped recovery, and it's going to look like this. The question that I'm asking myself, and I think business owners need to ask themselves, is inside this blue box, the bottom of the U, how long is that U going to go on for? What's going to be the measures that start to see that U go up? So yes, the pandemic's over. Now we're here. Everything's going to go back to work. Actually, people haven't got confidence, access to credit. I mean, banks at the moment, ladies and gents, have got more money than they've ever had. They've actually got £4.2 trillion worth of cash that they're sitting on right now. That's a serious amount of cash, because the government, when they bailed them out in 2008, 2009, said, hey guys, we'll give you this money, but there's going to be fiscal policies. You're not going to be able to lend cash as easy, and you've got to strengthen up your balance sheets should another economic downturn happen again. Has anybody watching started a new business during the last month like James? I don't know the answer to that, but yes, if you're watching, please let us know. So these stages, one of the big things that I think is going to make a big difference, ladies and gents, is one of these, a vaccine. Once we got a vaccine, that's when I think the U will start to recover. This is different. There isn't a credit crunch, guys. Banks have got more money than ever, but I think they're going to be very wary who they lend their money to. See, at the moment with the Sybil's loans thing, and this is what I was speaking to my bank this morning about, 80% of the Sybil's loans is guaranteed by the government. So there's a guarantee by the government for that 80%. And then the bank will take a 20% personal guarantee on the other 20%. So if you borrow 100 grand, 20%, the bank take a risk on and probably get your personal guarantee. And then 80% is taken up by the government. The situation is, though, if all these loans go wrong and there's a disastrous economic crash, the government can turn around and say to the banks, well, did you do proper due diligence? We're not just going to say they write out £10 billion worth of loans, all the UK banks. Well, it's actually 350 billion. So they write out 100 billion per one of the big banks, and a big chunk of the businesses go wrong, and the banks then go, right, okay, Mr. Government, we'd like £80 billion back now, please. on that business interruption thing that you said you would help us with. And they say, well, you didn't do your due diligence good enough, did you? So no. So that's why I think it's going to be much slower to get this credit into the coffers of businesses than we all believe, because it's all about proper good due diligence. The banks are still lending their money. It's just being guaranteed by the government. And if they have to call it in, they want to make sure they get that money back. And that, ladies and gents, is why this is going to be much slower than we all think. Frankly, rather, if they're prepared to put £350 billion up and prepared to lose some of it, I think the government should have done it in VAT deferments, PAYE deferments, reducing VAT, done all of that. I think that would have been a much quicker way to pump cash into the economy. C'est la vie, that's just my point of view. Okay, let's have a look at other businesses that do well. The sin businesses, ladies and gents. These guys do very well, which comes under the 3 C's. Candy, contraceptives, and cosmetics. Yes, ladies and gents, people have more sex in an economic downturn. People buy more chocolate as they look for cheap treats. They stay indoors. They're having more sexy time. They're buying more condoms and sex toys and cosmetics as women and some men that wear makeup look to not go for spa weekends and expensive beauty treatments. They look to do it at home. So makeup, nail varnish, all of that stuff does very well. Actually, candy, let me tell you about this. Talking about chocolate, Cadbury's profits went up 30% in 2008. Nestle up 11% in 2008. So there's some good evidence that people are looking for cheap treats and cheap thrills to do well in an economic downturn. Auto repair and maintenance, that also does well as people look not to necessarily go and buy a new car. They might repair their new car. They might not buy a new house, but they might have a small extension or get their patio done or replace their windows. Maintenance and auto repair businesses will do very well as people look to not capex as much, and that's in businesses as well. We'll be looking to repair than replace right now. Absolutely. We've got tractors, play frames. We'll be looking to repair over replace, and I think that if you can be in the repair over replace business, but then be ready to replace, because in a couple of as that that we was talking about earlier goes up, people then will look to replace. Daycare. I own obviously a chain of day nurseries. We're going to open another 2 this year as soon as we can get through this. So we opened our day nursery business in 2009, and it went so well, and it's grown every single year. Whereas people doing more jobs, they're having to work more. They might not be able to rely on one wage. So maybe person number 1's had to take a pay cut, and so person number 2 in the family has had to go out and get some work. And most people, care about education. It's a love, want, and need business. They love their children to be educated. They want their children to be educated, and they know they need their children to be educated. So daycare businesses do very well as well. Online marketing companies that get paid on results. Groupon, Voucher, these fellows done very well in the last economic downturn. But also, if you're an SME, I do believe if you could be a marketing company that gets paid on results, you could go to an SME business and say, look, if we generate you X amount of sales or X amount of results, will you then pay us on those results? And they're the sort of businesses that get paid on results that are going to do very, very well. Accountancy and tax firms. Let me tell you this now, guys. We got £250,000 back from Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs on R&D refunds. That's research and development. We'll just have some aqua déjeuner, guys. Yes, so R&D, you're going to need an accountant, you need your tax firms to make sure that you're thrifty nifty on your taxes and see if there's any grants out there or any savings. Accountants are very good at this. So if you need to take advantage of that and maybe get an R&D, maybe you've developed some software, or you're in pharmaceuticals, or you designed something new, a new engine or a new way of doing something, maybe you can get some R&D money into your business. But there are plenty of other grants and small business rates relief, all of that stuff. So accountancy and tax firms do very well. Coffee shops and cafes, people feel like they're going out for £5.50 average customer value over a meal out at say £25 to £100. So that makes a big difference. People are looking for cheap treats in an economic downturn, and it's until their confidence comes back, that's when they really go for it again. So think about your average customer value. Maybe you can have a low average customer value, but high transactional value, like a coffee shop. It's only, you know, two people can easily do a tenner in a coffee shop, but they might transact there 4 times a week. So you still get decent revenues, but just with higher transactions. Just make sure your overheads are low. Costa coffee shops in London, sorry guys, very rarely make any money because of high business rates and high rents and high overheads. So not that they're turning loads of money, they just can't make any money out of it because the cost of running is so high. Fast food, McDonald's, fish and chips, pizza takeaways, they're all businesses that go like gangbusters in a recession. So moving into city centres, I need a place in the business, and days out over holidays. People look to staycate rather than vacate. So even staycation businesses, hotels in the UK, campsites, days out, those sorts of businesses do very well. And movie theatres, if you go and, you know, a quick Google will prove this, you'll see they go like gangbusters as people look for fantasies and, you know, climb out of the actual current realization of the situation. Education and online courses, people need to upskill to get going again. You know, this is why we've set up the Entrepreneurs University. We know people need to learn how to sell on Amazon, how to get stuff selling on Facebook, and how to increase profits and how to buy businesses for no money. And that's why I've taken all of my my offline training programs. I've put it all online for 50 quid a month. It's less than a pair of Nikes, and I know it works. So I'm letting people try it for 14 days for free. If you want to give it a try, you can go to my website, jamessinclair.net. There's a big button in the middle that says try Entrepreneurs University for free. You'll be part of a community, and we have loads of blueprints, cheat sheets, swipe files, and all my videos teaching you. It's like you get me as a business coach for next to nothing. £50 a month, less than a pair of Nikes for me to help grow your business. And it's tried, tested, and proven methods. So they're the two businesses that we've started. Drive-through supermarket, the Entrepreneurs University, both are going like gangbusters. Fabulous. Let me just, before I take some questions and finish off here, guys, this is a great time for entrepreneurs. You know, entrepreneurs are like speedboats. You know, if you look at, you know, the size of business, if my whiteboard here represents the global amount of money, and most businesses are big oil tankers, it takes them a long time to turn around. Well, if you can be a little speedboat, you can be nimble, fast, and approachable. And approachable is a big word as well. Is your business approachable? But also, you need to be a master marketeer. You need to be a marketeer of what you do rather than an operator of what you do. All the successful business owners that I've met and come into contact with over my years of doing things is I understand this. You have to be a master marketeer. If you're good at getting customers and keeping customers rather than operating your business, get other people to operate it. Buy in management. You need to be focusing on getting customers, growing your business, not operating your business. And if you can do that, you'll be in a great place. You've got to do deals as well, guys. You've got to be flexible, more flexible than you've ever been. You've got to say yes to everything and understand you might need to kick your profit down the road. What does that mean? Well, creating a pricing architecture plan and be prepared to wait for your profits. So, for example, Disney, those little fellows, the mouse, they're charging people £5.99 to access all of their movies and all of their content. That's not a lot of money, but they've got 50 million people doing that. But they understand that those are their most customers. They're most customers. And if I draw a tree here to represent those $5.99s, that's their most customers. Over a period of time, they're going to get ideal customers. Yes. And those ideal customers are their fruits on the tree. Let me just get a different color here, guys. They're fruits on the tree. And those ideal customers are those people that will spend £10,000 on a Disney cruise. They'll spend £500 on clothes and toys and merchandise, or spend £500 as a family going to their theme park. The fruits are their ideal customers, and their Disney Plus customers are their most customers. They get those ideal customers because they have most customers. So look out for those customers, guys. Think about a pricing architecture. If you're going to discount, do deals, make sure that you have a plan, a pricing architecture to get the profits down the road. Well, guys, I've come to the end of it. If anyone's got any questions, I'm prepared to answer them. I don't know if the Festival Enterprise, the host, is here to come in and ask any questions. If not, I'm finished. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you'd like to give my Entrepreneurs University a try, please do. 14 days, we'll give it to you for free. Just go to my website, jamessinclair.net, so we can help grow your business. If you want to watch me on YouTube as well, I bring out tons of content. And my last video was why Boris Johnson's recovery is going to make us all a lot richer. If that sounds intriguing and you want to watch that, search James Sinclair on YouTube and poof, I shall appear. And those guys, if you join the Entrepreneurs Network University, even in your first month, I'll send you a copy of all my books as well for free. Getting Customers, The Millionaire Clown, and The Experience Business. Oh yes, hello, go on, go for it.
That's all right. Yeah, a couple of questions. There's a few coming on the private question tab as well. So Steph says, do you think takeaway companies will do well in the recession? Thanks for your time.
Yeah, no, I did mention that earlier on in the webinar, but yes, absolutely, I definitely do. Takeaway companies are a cheap treat. It's discretional spend. People have got to eat. And actually, sometimes it's cheaper to buy takeaways than cooking a full-on meal for yourself. McDonald's, fish and chip shops, pizza restaurants, pizza takeaways all did well in the last economic downturn. And my strong prediction is they are going to go like gangbusters now too.
See, like, but was it today? I read Burger King, Pret, and KFC are starting up delivery only, aren't they, as well? Not a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, a good friend of mine, and he's I done a podcast with him a few weeks ago. He's got 30 fish and chip shops, does £24 million worth of revenue in fish and chips.
Wow.
He's switched it over now to click and collect, so you don't have to go into store. And, you know, they're completely oversubscribed. So the evidence suggests that, yes, takeaway businesses, and that's real evidence, that's hardcore, tried, tested, proven evidence, that they're still doing very, very well. In fact, they can't keep up with demand.
Yeah. And Neil says, regards starting a new business, do you think the banks are going to be processing new business bank accounts?
I think that's going to be difficult to get new. I mean, getting a business bank account open at the best of times is very difficult now because of what they call their KYC, know your customer stuff, and because of fraud and stuff. There's some real stringent process. Even us, I mean, we've got 11 bank accounts with our bank because we've got 9 different companies and we've got a couple of saving accounts. If we want to open a new bank account, my God, the rigmarole that we have to go through for an existing business is tough. So my advice to people is to go through your existing banks and don't think about changing banks just yet and wait till everything goes back to normal. Yeah, and if you're talking in regards to a Sybil's loan, banks, you know, and they've been very open about that, they're looking after existing customers before they go to new customers. So if you're worried, you might need to go to what we call a challenge bank. So Starling Bank, Aldermore, Shawbrook, those challenger banks rather than some of the big banks like NatWest, Barclays, Lloyds.
Cool, thank you very much. And here's a question for you. What's keeping you up at night, James?
Well, I'm sleeping like a daisy. Nothing really is affecting me. You know, like we're in a situation like this. I'm super excited about when this is all over. The opportunity is going to be wholesale for people that want to take it. You know, most people are going to be contracting. I'm going to be concepting businesses at a wholesale rate. We will grow fastest through this. I absolutely know it, because we'll be able to do deals with landlords, buy property, and take over businesses where people have had enough. I think there's going to be so many people that just don't want to run their business anymore after this, especially the baby boomers. So this is people like 65 years old, 60 years old. They were thinking about retiring, but they've held on just because, you know, habits keep you running your business, and they're now going to be thinking, right, I've had 3 to 6 months off. I've lost a lot of my goodwill in terms of regular customers because maybe I wasn't so good on the internet and everyone's pivoted over, but I've got a brand that's trusted. I'd still have some sort of database, and then maybe you could come along as a savvy marketeer and rebirth the business. Let me give you an example to what I mean there. You might have a garden centre, for example, that's really well known locally, but they just didn't do any thing online because they never had to, you know, they were comfortable with what it was. But then the people like Amazon and other smart SME businesses that really have pivoted onto the internet, they could take over a brick and mortar business. They could buy it on vendor finance, i.e. pay the business owner over a period of time with a personal guarantee, of course, rather than trying to get bank finance. So business owner that's selling, the vendor, they get their money. They have to wait for it over a period of time, but probably they're a woofy, are well off over 50. They've got plenty of cash, and this is just, you know, a pension that's going to pay them. It's very tax efficient for them to do that. They'll get the first £1,000,000. They'll only pay 10% tax on any transaction because of entrepreneurs relief. If it goes over £1,000,000, then they'll pay 20%. And then you could take the business over and put all your marketing now and put what I call the 3 E's, which really get a business going. And those 3 E's are energy, enthusiasm, and effort. And I think a lot of people are going to lose that energy, enthusiasm, and effort as this goes on and on and on. For me, I can't wait. I mean, I just literally cannot wait to get going, employ more people, pay taxes so that the government gets some money back so that they can keep our country going as fast as possible, because everyone's, you know, taking a haircut right now. And but, you know, there's some really great times to come.
Agreed. And how will consumer and business behavior, Neil says, change after the lockdown and COVID-19?
Well, that's why some people are saying, you know, on my whiteboard that I just spoke about here, just if you're just joining us, you know, one of the ways that we'll recover is through this W situation, and that might happen, you know. So we're plummeting down here right now, so we're somewhere around here. Then they say, right, lockdown's over, everyone feels great. They go out and spend a load of money, and then we have this 3 months of economic recovery. And then everyone goes, oh, actually, I've got to now start paying my mortgages again. Actually, I don't have as much confidence. Maybe there isn't this vaccine out there, so we go down, everything goes back to, and then we see the proper recovery. So I can see why a lot of people think that's going to happen. My personal opinion is what I said earlier is to you. We're down here right now, and we continue to go down. There'll be these stages at the bottom, and confidence, people spending money, even though people have got money, they're going to keep hold of it. And until they want to lubricate that and put it back into the economy, will never, ever recover. Big thing about recessions, guys, you know, I always say this, you know, recessions are, the money doesn't disappear. It's what I keep telling everyone. It's the same amount of money in the world always exists. It doesn't just poof disappear. It just stays in people's pockets for longer, and it might go in different pockets. So you might be an angel investor, for example, and you've sold your business a few years ago. You got 2-3 million quid, and you've invested it into the stock market. And now you think, no, I don't want to invest any money into the stock market until I see a recovery. So you're just going to keep that money in the bank and not put it into the economy. That's what happens in a recession. It's the flow of cash flow into our economy. The money hasn't disappeared. But here's the great thing about SMEs and startups. Startups and businesses that want to scale and grow in recessions do really well if you've got the right mindset. And that angel investor example that I just gave you, you know, they might not be investing in the stock market, but they could get very good tax efficiencies by investing into startup businesses and taking a small percentage in the business through like an EIS scheme or something like that. So those, if you're investable, you've got a great idea and you've got great management and you can prove that you know what you're doing, then I think there's going to be a chance for you to get more cash than ever. And we live in the UK, guys. You know, we've got a great legal system, a great financial system. We're a trusted global brand. People believe in the UK. A lot of the Chinese and the Russians all want to buy property over here because we know we're trusted. We've got a great police force, a great army. You know, we've got a strong, stable government, which, you know, this is my last video that I made on YouTube. Like, the Boris Johnson recovery is great news for us. Whether you vote left or you vote right, you know, having a stable government where we don't have to worry about a general election for 5 years, fantastic. You know, the Americans have got to have a presidential election in November, so we're just going to get out of this, and then everyone's going to be campaigning about a new president. And like, if it's someone new, at least sometimes, you know, with Trump, you know what you're going to get, and you know the problems there and the highs there or whatever. And then who's this new person? We don't know how the market's going to react to that. God, look over in Ireland. They've got 3 parties with equal sort of number of seats. They can't get anything done. Germany just about clinging on to power. Angela Merkel. France the same over there. Yeah, we're in a real strong position in the UK where we've got complete political stability for the next 5 years, and that makes me feel very excited about doing business here.
Yeah, great answer. What is your priority, James, for the next 4 weeks? And maybe they're thinking today's decision that it'll, extend the lockdown for another 3 weeks and after that. But yeah, what's your priority for the next 4 weeks?
Well, we're planning. We're planning big time. The only thing is we don't actually know when we're going to be allowed to trade.
Yeah.
And for us in our style of business, we can't have this sort of let's flirt with it. It's either all or nothing. We're a visitor attraction. We can't, say, hey, come to our visitor attraction, come to our theme park, and everyone keep 2 meters apart. No, we'd rather just not open at all. That's just not going to work for us.
Mm.
What am I doing? Personally, I'm writing a new book called The Dream Team about building an amazing team around you that can be profitable. I mean, what's prompted me to do this online drive supermarket thing that we're doing, click and collect, drive through supermarket. Yeah, it's my idea. Yeah, I push for it to be done. I've had zero, other than the marketing, zero on the operations. I'm in isolation. My missus is 7 months pregnant. We've got 2 months to go. She's freaking out. I can't leave the house. So I'm in for 12 weeks, and I've already been in for 5 weeks, and until this is all sorted. So my team have completely done this without me. So it's prompted me to write this book, and they often do things without me. But when you look at businesses, you go through 3 stages of business. You've got the solopreneur, the entrepreneur, the investorpreneur, and really what you want to be is an investorpreneur, building an investment. No one wants to buy a job. Everyone's building a business. It's effectively a profitable job, and no one wants to buy that. You should always be building a business to sell, even if you have no intention of selling it. And so I went through those 3 stages: solopreneur, entrepreneur, investorpreneur. And basically, you want to be like a shareholder of your business. Even if you're 100% shareholder, you want to elevate yourself to the chairwoman or the chairman, so that you've got an amazing management team doing everything for you, so that it's a profitable investment rather than a profitable business or a profitable job, i.e. other people want to invest in it and buy it. And that's what I've always been doing. So I will be at home working out how we can be a profitable investment. I'll continue to make my daily content. I'm making more content than ever. Literally a YouTube channel video every day. I'm doing a podcast every day. I'm writing a book. I'm on at least 2 podcast webinar things like this a day, just trying to build my personal brand so that I can help entrepreneurs grow their business and soar to success.
Yeah, I had Chris Ducker on yesterday, and Chris was saying similar question, what you should be doing right now, and he was saying making content. He said don't be the Luke Skywalker, be the Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I quite like.
Yeah. Well, maybe there you go.
Here's a question: if you had £1 million to invest in an industry right now, what would it be?
Childcare. And if you could get small commercial property units that don't have business rates, where you can put people in on license, they're sort of things I absolutely love. But mainly, I'd probably keep the property to the side. Yeah, childcare I like. Businesses that follow those love, want, and needs. I mean, maybe even a farm shop that has, if you can get decent margins and a lower enough overhead to run it, I think that would do very well, because people, are buying locally, they're buying greener, they're looking to support small businesses, and if you can create a story around your brand, that could do very well. But my primary answer would definitely be childcare.
Very good.
Day nursery, not proper big day nursery, 60-place day nursery plus.
Yeah. And question, probably just off the content one you mentioned, if you were looking to start building a brand now, what would you focus on? Would you focus on a podcast, a YouTube channel, a blog? What are your thoughts on that, James?
Wherever you're comfortable. I love being on video. And so I always, I'm an entertainer and stuff. Like some people have a fear of being on stage. I've got a fear of not being on stage, so it comes very natural for me to jump on something like this. So I double down on that. But, if, the written word is your thing, then double down on that. Medium's doing very well and people are getting good SEO traffic from Medium into their websites and building a great traction on that. Maybe writing books is your thing. But if you prefer to be on a podcast and do a podcast, I mean, you can get on a podcast just using Anchor on an iPhone with a pair of headphones. That's how I started before we had all, I mean, I've got all the microphones and all the shizzle now. But yeah, I mean, even when I started vlogging, I just used my iPhone. But you've got to be comfortable with it, because if you're not passionate about doing it, you won't do it consistently. And I am very passionate about making video. That's, you know, I love doing this stuff, so it becomes easier. You know, what makes someone successful is their hunger for something, their want to progress into something, and their motivation for something. Talent, you know, I read a book, oh God, what is it called? It's a fantastic book, Bounce, that's what it's called. And it's all about, I don't know if you've read that book. It's a brilliant book about an Olympic champion table tennis player. And he says, look, talent doesn't exist. What could be a natural talent for someone is motivation. And if you're naturally motivated to do something, you'll become more talented. So I'm naturally motivated to make more videos. And so I practice and practice. I do more and more of this stuff. And so everyone goes, my God, you know, how can you do this so easy without thinking? Well, it's 10,000 hours of practice, sailor. That's how. But I'm motivated to do it. I am not motivated to go on a 10-mile run or go and do loads of exercise. I force myself to do that stuff, therefore I do just enough, right? But wherever you're motivated and wherever your passion is into something, then you'll always do more of it. And that book is all about having 10,000 hours of practice. And they say the people that are most talented in the world are motivated for the thing that they do. And I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's something to try and tell my kids as well. It's not the one with the most talent that's still standing at the end of the day. It's the one with the most perseverance and is motivated to get there. So,
absolutely, it is.
Agree with you. Okay, folks. Well, any last questions for James? Otherwise, you can see Entrepreneurs University 14-day free trial. Business that James just started up in the last.
This is fantastic as well. We're a great community of people. I mean, we're just doing some, like, you know, we're just releasing a module as well, how to sell on Amazon. We've worked out how to do that, be a prime person, and you know, there's quite some rules on there. So we've created a brand new module on that, which is, you know, completely different to investing in commercial property and getting a team to be more profitable, how to do customer service. It's a real full thing, and you get modules every single week. And then there's this vault of information with all my other keynotes on everything from getting customers, keeping customers, growing a business, buying a business, scaling a business. So it's all there, wherever level you're at.
And what's the URL for that, James?
Well, you just go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and then on the homepage, there's a big button that says Try Entrepreneurs University, and then you can enroll in it for 14 days to get your first few modules. In that time, you'll get JB, who's our MD of this business. He'll give you a call, welcome you in, explain about everything. So look out for that call. And he's a qualified coach. You end up getting a half-hour coaching session as well for free in many effects as well. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on. Really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been really good. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, super. Thank you.
Cheers, James. Bye-bye now.
All right.